Hey everyone, this is Lisa the Whimsical Gardener. Thank you for joining me today. I want to take you around as I do some maintenance around the garden. This is towards the end of May. I garden in Zone 8A, Acworth, Georgia. Would love if you would come along with me as I do some maintenance. Would also love if you can subscribe to my channel, like the video as well, and share with as many family and friends as you can. So come along with me and you'll see how I maintain the garden and some problems I solve too as well. In my front garden bed, there's some maintenance work that I have to do. So first of all, I have several self-seeded verbena plant, which I've pulled out a lot of them, but realizing now it's looking a little bit too much in this area, so I'm going to need to pull out some of these, so we'll have to work on that today. In addition to that, I do have some deadheading that I need to do, and as you can see, lots of weeds. So every garden, I don't care who you are, always is battling weeds. My knockout roses are done blooming for the first flush, so I do need to deadhead these. I'll pop in a picture of what it looks like in full bloom. It was glorious, but I do need to deadhead these, and these typically bloom all season. Adding to the plants that self-seed is some feverfew that is in the middle of the walkway, so I'm thinking I might just need to pot them up so I can give that away. In this bed, you'll notice that my raspberries, which are planted over here, by the way, plant these in pots, not in the ground if you don't want them to run and create new plants. So they've actually, the runners run underground, and as you can see here, I've got a bunch of raspberry plants in the bed and even more back here. So I do need to dig those up. I am gonna pot them up because I'm thinking about doing a plant sale next year. So I think these will be great plants to offer to folks that may want some raspberry. Alright everyone, let's go ahead and get going with the garden maintenance. I'm gonna start with removing some of the verbena that's self-seeded in this area. Now for this, typically my tools that I use some gloves. I'm not a fan of garden gloves. I find that I have a hard time feeling what I'm doing, so I found that these medical grade gloves are the best, which I typically get this from Amazon. I also have some snippers in case I need to use that, and of course my hori knife if I need that. I do also got a little box so I can put all of the plants that I pull out from here. Of course, if you're working in the garden, first thing you're going to want to do is please make sure you stay hydrated. Wear a hat if you need to. I know this is a pot called the kettle black. I hate wearing a hat, but sun's not that bad today. But wear protection as much as you possibly can. I'm going to move the camera a little bit closer so you can see what I'm doing. So as you'll see here, moving a little bit closer, you'll see I have multiple verbena plants here, which these are going to get huge over time, and it's not going to look so pretty. So what I want to do is thin them out and make it look a little more prettier. So let's move on with that. In this case, I'm just simply pulling them out. I found that just using your hands works well for these because they're not that deep rooted. Me back in the day would never do this, but I found trying to streamline how things look, so I think pulling out a few of these would be good. Alright, so I've thinned the verbena, so if you look, there's clear separation between where the pot starts and where the verbena. I think it looks a little bit cleaner. So off to the next project. So moving on to the front garden bed. In this particular bed, I planted a dahlia right here. However, as you can see, my salvia, my hydrangea, my hostas are covering it. So there's no chance it'll grow with all of the shade. So I think I do need to remove it and put it somewhere. So I'm thinking that I would remove it and possibly put it in this pot over here. I think I'll get a little bit more sun there and some more space as well. So let me show you what I mean by my dahlia not getting enough sun. As you can see right there, if I could move that out, that's my dahlia plant. And clearly a mistake I made, which everyone makes a mistake in the garden, is planting things too close. It's weird because when you're planting it, there's nothing around it, so it's hard to envision what it would look like, but this is something I can easily solve for. The dahlia, very nice, so I'm just going to go in there and then watch me navigate through all of these. Yay, I got it out. Alright, so got my dahlia dug up. So I just used the hori knife and I got the entire dahlia dug up. And I think I'm going to plant it in this planter that has some snapdragon because there's some space and there's a little bit of void, so I can put this in the middle. And dahlia for me typically start blooming by now or July, August or so. This particular one is on the smaller side. Because it was getting so much shade, and notice how it's leggy. So I'm going to go ahead and also trim it as well. So what I'm doing is I'm digging a hole in the middle of the planter, and I am going to insert this and then backfill it. I'll show you a close-up after I'm done. Next thing I'm going to do is I want this dahlia to be stronger, so I'm going to snip some of the leaves so it could bush out. So what I'm doing is, not sure if you can see, but the middle of the stem where it's coming out, I'm going to pinch it there. In this case, I'm snipping it. This dahlia, if you can see it, I actually got it from Home Depot, and the name, as you can see, my sign not so good, but you can see what it would look like. So hopefully you will see this revive from here. I will go ahead and water it in, and probably in a couple of weeks or so it'll be doing much better, but I think this is a better location than where I had it before. Editing Lisa popping in here. At this point I realized that my audio isn't clear, so at this point I am explaining how I am going to trim the roses, and by doing that what I'm looking for is a first set of 5 leaves and trimming it from there. I'm also trying to shape the plant, so in this case I'm trying to give it more of a rounder looking shape. I'm gonna pause the video and attempt to trim the back of it as well, and then I'll show you the end of it. Editing Lisa popping in here once again. This is the second point that I've noticed that my audio is not so great, so doing a voiceover. At this point I am showing you that I've went ahead and trimmed the entire
rose bush. I've gone with more of a meatball looking shape at this particular point. I've also trimmed the pink knockout rose. With moving the dahlia, I think this bed now is in good shape. I'm also showing you that such is life as a gardener. I created a huge mess which I now need to clean up.
So the next garden item on the list is digging up and transplanting that feverfew. So if you're not familiar what feverfew is, I'm gonna pan over a little over here, and that's these white chamomile looking plants. For us here in zone 8A, it does self-seed and it's actually an evergreen, so it will stay green during the winter. I figured that I'm going to dig that one up. Sorry for using the hori knife to point, but dig that up, and I have a little bit of a gap behind here, and I figure I'm gonna put that right there, because what will happen is eventually I'll have to trim this and pull some of them out. So this is just to allow them to continue to fill the area, but love the feverfew, and this could take a little bit of shade as well. And they're just starting to come in into bloom. We have a small tiny dahlia. This one I planted from seed last year, and it came back. I find that the seed dahlias typically, most of them are on the smaller side, but still love growing dahlia from seed. I do have another one coming up here. Cannot remember which one that was, but we'll see over time. So I'm gonna put the camera down, and I'm going to attempt to dig this up without breaking the root. There's two of them there, so let's go. So I'm gonna gently clear the dirt away, I mean the bricks away, so I can see the entire root on here. And I'm gonna use this hori knife and gently unearth it and then pull it out. So as you can see here, I have the plant, and for the other one I'll do the same exact thing. Now this one here, there you go. Alright, so let's see. Bring it up a little closer so you can see it. Here's my two plants. I'm going to turn the camera around, and I'm going to go ahead and plant them over here. And this little gap that you're seeing right there. I'm clearing out some of the leaves so that way the plant has some sunlight starting out. So I'm going to clear that out. And then I'm just gently digging a hole. The soil is fairly soft. The other one. Oh, there you go. So the next seedling I'm going to dig up and transplant is this hyacinth bean. Nice thing about this is I have no idea how this seed ended up here. I did have it on a trellis that's right next door, and I'm thinking during the winter the birds probably dropped it. So because I have seedlings all over the yard, but I'm grateful to see these popping up. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this one up and then transplant it. Now to do this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get some of the dirt with it. So I'm clearing away the mulch here. And then using my heavy duty hori knife, I'm going to go a little bit farther out from the root. And okay. So now I have like a whole clump of dirt left.
Editing Lisa popping in here once again. At this point I realized for the third time my audio isn't so great. So what I'm doing is I am going to plant this hyacinth bean on this trellis. So right now I have a David Austin climbing rose, and as you can see it's not doing so great, but I don't have any time to address it this season, so hopefully I'll address it in the future. I also have some cucumbers, as you can see, not doing so well. So is gardening. Not everything does great. So I'm going to plant this hyacinth bean, and I'm going to train it up this trellis, and I've already got some planted on the other side of the trellis. So in the summer I should have some great blooms on both sides.
Hope you all enjoy this video and see how I address some issues I'm having maintaining the garden, making it look pretty. I did not get to everything on the list, but so is life. Give yourself a break and do it whenever you feel up to it. It doesn't have to be all the projects completed in one day. That's the fun part about gardening. So thank you for joining me. Please subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section, and I'll see you in the next one.